the balance, the challenges as we build this beautiful, diverse province, the largest in the country. For that, I've been traveling every single part of the province. And I continue to hear the struggles people are facing. Families are struggling to find family doctors and nurses. They're waiting hours in emergency rooms to see a healthcare professional. Parents are concerned about their children's education, where classes have become too big and so much time, the focus of curriculum is not education but other issues. Not to mention housing, affordable housing is a real concern for so many, especially our seniors. And if I'm elected as the leader and inshallah as the premier of our province, these are the three issues that I want to work on by bringing forward my values, both as a Shia Muslim, but also as a Canadian, and ensure that we're making a positive impact in the lives of everyone. When I look at the kind of organization, the kind of community that Jaffari Center has been able to provide, when I see like the projects for the seniors residence that's going to be built on the south side of the parking lot, those are the kind of solutions that governments need to support and champion. In fact, I want to take your model here and apply it to other faith communities across our province so we can look after our seniors. There's so much to do, but I need your help in making that happen. The Ontario Liberal Party is running the most open and democratic process to elect their next leader. Everyone who becomes a member of the party before September 11th, so that could be every single one of you, will have a direct right to vote in deciding who the next leader is going to be. For that, you have to sign up to become a member of the party. The membership of the party is absolutely free. There is no charge to the membership. You only have to be 14 years of age and older and a resident of Ontario to become a member. So my ask of you is this: own your democracy. Let's own our community as our faith has always told us to do so. Because this is home and we have to do everything in our power to make it even a better place to live for all of us, for our children. This is not about just one person, Yasser Naqvi. Not at all. I'm just a vehicle, a conduit for all of you, a voice for all our community, so that we can make Ontario and Canada a place that we are proud to say home. So my ask is to please consider becoming a member of the party. Myself and some of my volunteer friends will be outside. We have QR codes that you can scan to become a member of the party on our website. As I said, the membership is free, and if you become a member by September 14th, you will have a direct vote to decide who the next leader is, and perhaps, inshallah, the next Premier of Ontario. Wouldn't it be incredible that a Shia Muslim Canadian is that person? Thank you very much for your kindness, for your attention, and I look forward to working hard on all of your behalf. Assalamu alaikum.
Salam. Can we have a loud salawat, please? Allah.
Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
खुशनूदी इमाम ज़माना बुलंदतर सलवात। बारे दीगर नारे सलवात। सजाद नहीं मुश्क ए शाम दा सफर सजाद नहीं मुश्क اے شام دا سفر سجاد لئی مشکل اکبر دا اکبر بھرا دا قاتل اکبر بھرا دا قاتل عابد دا سفر سجاد لئی مشکل روندا خون قیدی نہیں مرض کوئی پرانی اے شام کھا گئی سجاد کی جوانی ہویا ضعیف یکدم ہویا ضعیف یکدم بازار دا سڑے سجاد لئی مشکل اس شام دے سفر وچ شبیر رل گئیاں دربار دیکھ ویر تیری موت بھول گئیاں بیمار مر نہ جاوے بیمار مر نہ جاوے زینب نو اے فکر سجاد لئی مشکل آنکھیں رباب عابد مشکل ہے میرا جینا اصغر ہے کربلا بچ رے شام گئی سکینہ ہووے گود میری خالی ہووے گود میری خالی کس دی لگی نظر سجاد لئی مشکل جن و بشر ملائک کر دے بڑی عبادت لیکن ہے لا الہ دی بنیاد شہادت سجدہ حسین تیرا سجدہ حسین تیرا بے شک عجیب تڑے سجاد لئی مشکل اے شام دا سفر سجاد لئی مشکل پر محمد وآل محمد صلی اللہ
اور محمد وآل محمد صلوات صلی علی محمد وآل محمد بارے دیگر صلوات یا خدا تجھ کو ہی سیوا ہے خدائی تیری نیازی تو کسی نے بھی نہ پائی تیری جاگنے والے کو محروم دو عالم رکھا سونے والے سے کہا ساری خدائی تیری یا خدا تجھ کو ہی صلوات بر محمد و آل محمد نہ ڈھونڈیے ہے کہاں لا الہ الا اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ جہاں حسین وہاں لا الہ الا اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ علی کی تیغ سے تعریف پوچھئے سب کی پڑھا تھا کس نے کہا لا الہ الا اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ لا اگر ولایت حیدر نہیں ہے کلمے میں تو پھر ہے وہم و گمان لا الہ الا اللہ لا إلا الله إلا الله إلا الله إلا الله إلا الله علی کو دل میں بسا کر تو دیکھ ہے واعظ تو خود کہے گی زبان لا الہ الا اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ نصیریوں کو یقین لا الہ الا اللہ مسلموں کو مانا الہ الا اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ حسین زندہ ہے جب تک زمانہ باقی ہے کہاں یزید کہاں لا الہ الا اللہ 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 اذان میں علی اکبر نے لا الہ کہا وہ آج تک ہے رواں لا الہ الا اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ ضعیف باپ نے دیکھی سر کیے حالات ضعیف باپ نے دیکھی سر کیے حالات کلیجہ اور سینہ لا الہ الا اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ فاتحہ صلوات پر محمد و آل محمد میں ہم شکل پیغمبر نے جو کھائی برچی میں ہم شکل پیغمبر نے جو کھائی برچی چھین کر سینہ کلیجے میں درائی برچی کھینچ کر شمر کو ظالم نے دکھائے برچی ہوا فوج میں کیا خوب لگائی برچی اجل سلور دیر کو مارا تو نے جنگ آخر ہوئی شبیر کو مارا تو نے لشکر میں ہوا مار دیا اکبر کو ہوش اپنے سر و تن کا نہ رہا سرور کو رو کے زینب سے کہا سونپا خدا کو گھر کو برچی ماری کس ظالم نے میرے اکبر کو اس قدر چھید پڑا سے زمین لال ہوئے کہ یہ لاج ملتی ہے کہ پامال ہوئے سلی علی اکبر نے جو آواز حسین گر پڑا اس کے جو سینے میں ہوا دل بے چین بے دورے یہ بسط شور روشن محمد کے پسر عقدہ کشائے کون دم ہے سینے میں رکا زخموں سے خون جاری ہے یہ جلد کے ہنگام مددگار ہے سن کے آواز پسر سید والا دوڑے نیم بسمل کی طرح گر کے ہر ایک جا دوڑے کبھی کھولے ہوئے آغوش تمنا دوڑے کبھی تھامے ہوئے ہاتھوں سے کلے جا دوڑے جہاں بلب ہو گئے یہ صدمے کی جڑ پر پہنچے تو کرے کھاتے ہوئے لاش پسر پر پہنچے منہ پہ منہ رکھ کے پکارے میرے دل بھر دوڑو باپ بیتاب ہے ہم شکل پیمبر بولو آنکھیں کیوں بند ہے کیا صدمہ ہے دل بھر بولو سب کے ان ہونٹوں کے بولو علی اکبر بولو دم بدم کیا ہے جو بول کے رہ جاتے ہو کانٹے اس خشک زباں کے مجھے دکھلاتے ہو رو کے فرماتے تھے عباس دلاور آؤ اے میرے شیر ترائی سے اب اٹھ کر آؤ ہم گرفتار مصیبت ہیں برادر اٹھ نہیں سکتی ہے لاش علی اکبر آؤ اٹھ نہیں سکتی ہے لاش علی اکبر آؤ ابن زہرا کے برابر کا پسر چھوٹ گیا پہلے ٹوٹی تھی کمر اب میرا زہرا کے برابر کا پسر چھوٹ گیا پہلے ٹوٹی تھی کمر اب میرا دل ٹوٹ گیا من میں ہم شکل پیمبر نے جھکائی پر جی محمد وآل محمد صلوات اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد پھر ایک بار درود بھیجتے محمد وآل محمد محمد وآل محمد اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم ساری تعریفیں اللہ کے لیے درود و سلام محمد وآل محمد شروع کرنے سے پہلے دو باتیں کہنا چاہوں گا. سب سے پہلے تو آپ سب کو تعزیت پیش کرتا ہوں مولا امام سجاد علیہ الصلوۃ والسلام کی شہادت کا. اس کے بعد تہ دل سے شکریہ ادا کروں گا انجمن خاکساران حسین خاکساران عزا کا، اور بالخصوص برادر عزیز وجاہت رضوی کا کہ جنہوں نے مجھے پھر موقع دیا آپ سب کے سامنے پیش خدمت ہونے کا. اور اس کے بعد میں ایک اور بات کہنا چاہتا ہوں کہ کیونکہ دیکھیں آج لائیو سٹریم بھی نہیں ہے، اور جو ہے آپ دیکھ رہے ہیں کہ اب لائٹیں بھی بند ہو گئی ہیں، تو کوئی بھی پرسہ دیتے وقت شرمائے نہ. اور یہ اسی لیے کیا گیا ہے کہ مولا امام رضا علیہ الصلوۃ والسلام کہتے ہیں کہ میری جد پہ اس طرح رو کہ جیسے بوڑھی ماں اپنے جوان بیٹے کو روتی ہے. تو پلیز کوئی شرمائے نہ. میں وقت نہ ضائع کرتے ہوئے شروع کروں گا. جو لوگ کربلا نہیں جا سکتے ان کے لیے دعا ہے کہ وہ کربلا جائیں، لیکن میں آج کوشش کروں گا، میری کوشش ہوگی کہ کربلا کو یہاں لے آؤں. اور بہت سارے مصائب ایسے ہیں کہ جو اب تک ہم سے چھپے ہوئے ہیں، ہمیں نہیں پتہ، لیکن وہ پھر امام زمانہ اجل اللہ تعالیٰ فرجم شریف آئیں گے تو وہ بتائیں گے. لیکن جو مصائب ہم تک پہنچے ہیں وہ میں آپ کی خدمت میں حاضر کر رہا ہوں. درود بھیج دیں محمد وآل محمد.
صلی علی محمد وآل محمد.
اپنے نزدیک جو زہرا کو تڑپتا دیکھا. مختل پیش کر رہا ہوں آپ کے ساتھ. جوڑ کر ہاتھ حسین ابن علی نے یہ کہا آپ کے واسطے وعدے کو نبھاؤں اماں. دے اجازت کہ میں سر اپنا کٹاؤں اماں. کہا شبیر نے رو کر چلے گا حلق پر خنجر. بس اب اماں چلی جاؤ، بس اب اماں چلی جاؤ. شمر لعنت اللہ آتا ہے، اور اس کے بعد اس سے جب مختار نے پوچھا کہ مجھے آخری لمحے بتاؤ جب تم حسین کو قتل کر رہے تھے، تو کہتا ہے کہ ایسا لگتا تھا کہ کوئی بی بی میرے خنجر سے لپٹ گئی. کہا شبیر نے رو کر چلے گا حلق پر خنجر. بس اب اماں چلی جاؤ، بس اب اماں چلی جاؤ. نہ دیکھا جائے گا تم سے ہماری موت کا منظر. بس اب اماں چلی جاؤ، بس اب اماں چلی جاؤ. میری گردن پہ اے اماں چھری ظالم چلائے گا. نہ جس زانو وہ اپنا جس گھڑی سینے پہ رکھے گا، گھٹے گا دم بہت میرا، چلے گی سانس رک رک کر، بس اب اماں چلی جاؤ، بس اب اماں چلی جاؤ۔ دیکھیے میری کوشش صرف یہ ہے کہ ایک آنسو میں آپ کی آنکھوں سے لے جاؤں۔ اکثر محسوس نہیں ہوتا کسی اور کا غم ہے، نہیں محسوس ہو رہا۔ میں آپ کو بتاتا ہوں، جب آپ گھر سے کہیں سفر پہ جاتے ہیں تو آپ کی بوڑھی ماں یا آپ کی ماں قرآن لے کے آتی ہوگی نا دروازے تک، امام ضامن باندھتی ہوگی۔ اب سنیں غریب زہرا کی ماں فاطمۃ الزہرا کس طرح رخصت کر رہی ہیں، اور مولا حسین کیا کہہ رہے ہیں؟ ارے یہیں سے یہیں سے یہیں سے الوداع کہہ دو، ہمارے پیچھے مت آنا، یہیں سے الوداع کہہ دو، ہمارے پیچھے مت آنا، تمہارا پہلو زخمی ہے، نہیں تم سے چلا جانا، ہمیں تکلیف ہوتی ہے جو تم چلتی ہو جھک جھک کر، بس اب اماں چلی جاؤ، بس اب اماں چلی جاؤ۔ ارے ہر ایک مشکل میں اے اماں مدد کی آپ نے میری، ارے ہمارے ساتھ دریا سے اٹھائی لاش غازی کی، یا زہرا یا زہرا، تمہارا شکریہ تم نے اٹھایا لاش اکبر، بس اب اماں چلی جاؤ، بس اب اماں چلی جاؤ۔ قیامت کے مصرے پڑھوں گا، مولا ہمت دے دے، اب کوئی نہ کہے کہ کیمرے کے لیے کر رہے ہیں، کیمرے سارے بند ہیں، آپ کو دیکھنا نہیں ہے، کہیں میری طرف دیکھیں، میں جو جملے بول رہا ہوں اور کربلا نہ آپ کے سامنے نہ آ جائے تو پھر مجھے دعا نہیں دیجیے گا، لیکن اگر وہ منظر تھوڑا سا بھی آئے، صرف ایک آنسو کے بدلے میرے لیے دعا کر دیجیے۔ مدینہ 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 یاد آ جائے، مدینہ یاد آ جائے، نہ کربل میں تجھے اماں، ارے میری داڑھی پکڑ کر شمر مارے، میری داڑھی پکڑ کر شمر مارے گا مجھے اماں، تمہاری طرح میرے بھی تمہاری طرح میرے بھی پڑیں گے نیل چہرے پر. بس اب اماں چلی جاؤ, بس اب اماں چلی جاؤ. دو شعر. جو تم جھک جھک کے چلتی ہو تمہیں پہچان جائے گی. ارے تمہارے بین سن سن کے تو اس کی جان جائے گی. کہیں گھبرا کہ زینب آ نہ جائے میں بے چادر. بلند آوازوں سے رو. بس اب اماں چلی جاؤ, بس اب اماں چلی جاؤ. اور نہ جانے اس سلسلے کا آخری شعر پڑھا ہوں کیونکہ مجھ سے ہیں اور شعر مجھ سے پڑھا نہیں جا رہا. نہ جانے صبر تھا سجاد, نہ جانے نہ جانے نہ جانے صبر تھا سجاد کتنا شہزادی میں. ارے کٹا شبیر کا سر فاطمہ زہرا کی جھولی میں. حسین ابن علی کہتے رہے چلتا رہا خنجر. بس اب اماں چلی جاؤ, بس اب اماں چلی جاؤ. نہ دیکھا جائے گا تم سے نبی کی لاڈلی تم کو, نہ لگ جائے کہیں پتھر. بس اب اماں چلی جاؤ, بس اب اماں چلی جاؤ. درود پر محمد و آل محمد صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم.
Yeah, all the Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Salamun alaikum. Inshallah, tomorrow will be the last lecture of Ayam Sajadiyah, which programmed to start at 6 p.m. and will end with Salat, inshallah. Tonight, Majlis and reciters sponsored by Syed Wajahat Ali Rizvi and family for Isale Saab of Marhuma Farhat Fatima Rizvi, all Marhumin. Al-Fatiha. Tonight's Tabarruk sponsored by Badami family for Isale Saab of Marhum Meesum Ali Muhammad Ali Badami, Marhum Syed Ammar Nakshwani. Al-Fatiha. I sincerely appeal to all parents to look after their children while at the center. It is unacceptable to have young children running around in the hall or in the center without supervision, especially when the program is going on. Also, our seniors have first right to use chairs. May I humbly request kids not to occupy chairs both in ladies and gents. Another request, please do not save or reserve any seats or chairs in both hall, ladies and gents, as it is the first come, first served basis. Please donate generously towards the Muharram first. Total budget is 495,000. That is for Muharram, Safar, and Fatimiyah. Please remember to have your mobile phones on silence mode during the programs. Reminder, we have a strict no recording policy. Please no audio or video recording allowed. Logistics for Matam. After the Majlis, Matam for gents will take place in Zainabia Hall. Please proceed to Zainabia or Main Hall, which is behind you. Please make your halkas and Matam lines starting from there in front of the stage. Please, the only person allowed on the stage is the Noha reciter. Anyone wanting to give jawab must be on the ground in front of the stage. Now let's welcome tonight's scholar, Dr. Syed Ammar Nakshwani, with a loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. عظم الله لكم الأجر يا شيعا بقرب محرم، وما هي إلا أيام وننادي يا حسين يا أبا عبد الله. عظم الله لك الأجر يا رسول الله ويا أمير المؤمنين ويا فاطمة يا سيدتي نساء العالمين. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا وعظيمنا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع نفوسنا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين وأصحابه الغر الميامين. الحمد لله الذي جعلنا من المتمسكين بولاية سيدي ومولاي علي بن أبي طالب. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. أما بعد, all praises be to God, and may God bless my father the Prophet, peace be upon him, and his family. O people of Kufa, O people of desertion and hypocrisy, may your tears never dry, and may your lamentations never subside. Your example is like she who unraveled what she had spun of the thread when it became strong, using your allegiances to deceive one another. Indeed, are there amongst you those, but that they are only vain pretenders, with groveling hearts, strengthless when present, helpless against the enemies, breaking their allegiances, heedless of their obligations. What are you going to answer with the evil that you have put forward? Now that the wrath of God will be upon you, and you will see that you will languish with eternal chastisement. Do you weep? Yes, you should weep a great deal and laugh a little, because you have earned disgrace and dishonor with what you have done, and you have a stain that will remain on you forever. You have abandoned and you have killed the children of the last prophet of God, the chief of the youth of paradise, the refuge of the righteous amongst you, the sanctuary for your future, the signpost for your salvation, and the pathway for your success. What a load it is that you carry. May you be wretched and may you decline. Your offer was futile, your hands were empty, and now you have lost your opportunity, for now you are immersed in God's anger, and for you there will now only be humiliation and destitution. Shame on you. Do you know which part of Muhammad you have severed? Shame on you. Do you know which part of Muhammad you have severed? Do you know whose blood you have spilled? Do you know which precious gem you have now taken away from him? Indeed, how atrocious this thing is, that the heavens will end up torn apart, and the earth will split asunder, and the mountains will crumble into pieces. You ran towards it like deprived criminals, obscuring the land and the skies. You should not be surprised when the skies have rained blood. But the chastisement that will come in the hereafter will be a bigger disgrace and more disgracing. May you not find ease when this period is there of God's respite. God is not compelled to be hasty in the way he acts with you, nor does God miss an opportunity for vengeance, for surely God lies in wait for you. First of our loud salawat and honor of Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Second, even louder salawat and honor of Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. The third, with your loudest voices, in honor of the Imam of our time, Imam Sahib al-Asri wal-Zaman. Allahumma salli. Respected scholars, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Sayyida Zainab alayhi salam versus Ibn Ziyad, arguably one of the most titanic battles after Karbala. Indeed, this sermon was the sermon of Sayyida Zainab alayhi salam that she delivered in the land of Kufa. Without a doubt, of the three females or the three ladies that delivered khutbahs in the land of Kufa, the most important one, arguably, was the khutbah of Sayyida Zainab alayhi salam. Sadly, in many ways, we have not examined this particular khutbah in depth. There are many within our communities who may have actually heard the khutbah for the very first time in their life. If you ask many of the Shia, do you love Sayyida Zainab? Well, they'll say to you, of course. But if you ask them that what is the intellectual legacy of Sayyida Zainab, what is the ilm and the hikmah, the knowledge and the wisdom that you've gained from Sayyida Zainab alayhi salam, you'll see that unfortunately our knowledge of her words, our knowledge of her wisdom is much more related to the emotional rather than to the wisdom that's been left behind. If you mention the emotional aspect of Sayyida Zainab alayhi salam's life, many of us are aware of it. But how many of us are able to dissect in depth the khutab of Sayyida Zainab alayhi salam, but also the khutab of the other females who survived after Karbala? Because you know very well that if you were to see the importance of the ladies of the 10th of Muharram, their importance is not just related to the past, it's related today. In which way? This world is a world today in the 21st century which is shaped by four subjects. Media is one subject. Politics is another subject. Academia is another subject or another institution. And the fourth of them is psychology. You look around the world today, if you want to control the world, the more influence you have in discussions in these four areas, the more influence you'll have on the way the world works. Each of these areas yearns to examine certain personalities who people can learn from. In the media, whether it's psychology, whether it's academia, whether it's politics, every single one of these, in one way or the other, looks for a role model that people can learn from. Important historical figures we can gain knowledge from, or we could look at having insight about their personality. Each of these four areas has a major discussion on gender. The media, gender. Psychology, gender. Academia, gender. Politics, gender. Each of these four areas, when focusing on gender, especially on the role of the female. Media, the importance of the female. Academia, influential female. Politics, the moment a female rises to the top, it becomes big news. Psychology, the psychology of a female. When you come to examine Sayyida Zainab alayhi salam, our role has to be that Zainab becomes influential in each of these areas. When I examine Sayyida Zainab, first and foremost, when the media attacks Islam on the role of the female, I can use Zainab alayhi salam as an example. When psychologists want to look at, for example, the way the mind of the female works in the most difficult situations, I look at Zainab alayhi salam. In academia, when a person examines gender studies, why is there no mentioning of Zainab stand in Kufa or Zainab stand in Sham? In politics, what Zainab alayhi salam done in Kufa and Sham could become a blueprint in the political world. The problem is, for many of us, we've cocooned Sayyida Zainab just to these walls. Outside of these walls, there are many who could benefit from Zainab alayhi salam. When I come to recite here in Toronto, the reality is that by the time I finish my majalis tomorrow night, I would not have met the mayor, I would not have met a politician, I would not have spoken at a university, I would not have even got to a higher level of politics or media, because the reality is the vision is not there for us to transcend. I'm preaching to the converted, to the masses, to the choir, the ones who already love Zainab alayhi salam. When I look at Zainab in Kufa, the next stage is how do I take the lessons of Zainab in Kufa so that the rest of the non-Muslim world understands Zainab alayhi salam. If all I'm going to dissect is Zainab alayhi salam just for our own people, well, at the end, the reality is we already love Zainab alayhi salam. But when a person examines Sayyida Zainab alayhi salam and what she achieved after Karbala, then every single step from Karbala to Sham can affect the media today, can affect academia today, can affect politics today, can affect psychology today. I want to know, psychologically, how does a female remain strong having lost her children? Psychologically, I may see, for example, there are many who have issues with their mental health, very difficult with their mental health. They face trials and tribulations. How did you maintain your strength having seen your brothers and all of them butchered in front of you? Psychologically, Zainab then emerges. Suddenly, Zainab can become an academic journal article about the psychology of Zainab, the strength of Zainab, the mentality of Zainab. Politics. Can I ever have a Zainab in Toronto's political system? What if there is a lady from our community who emerges politically? Today in Canada, I know that there are a couple of Muslim ladies who have represented the community in different ways. I look at Zainab in Kufa, I see someone in the political realm representing a voice in the political. Likewise, when I come to the media, Zainab alayhi salam highlighted to me, if you have a voice in the media, you can turn a city upside down. When I have a voice in the media, I ask you today that if the community here in Toronto, how many of you can name a notable follower of Ahlul Bayt who represents us in the media when there's an issue related to Islam? I can name you who serves tea. I can name you who stands in the car park. I can name you who's the Muki. I can name you the president. No, wait. Those are glorious in here. But outside there, how many Zainabs can I name? What Zainab alayhi salam achieved in Kufa was that the main areas that dominate society, she had a voice in. Media, politics, psychology. All of a sudden, Zainab highlighted to us that if you have a voice in each of these, then you're able to turn round a whole society. Therefore, when we come to examine this, there are many of us who don't know Zainab's role in Kufa. Believe you me, if you were to ask many people, what was the interaction of Bibi Zainab in the 8 days that she spent in Kufa? What did she say? How did she interact? How does she interact with Ibn Ziyad? Does she maintain her composure or not? The reality is Zainab emerges after Karbala. In Karbala, hardly had we heard the voice of Zainab alayhi salam. The reality is that in Karbala, Sayyidah Zainab alayhi salam in the tents was talking to her brothers, but you never really heard her voice outside. But then, as soon as Karbala finished, you found that this lady emerged to become one of the greatest personalities in Islamic history. Let us tonight examine the role of Zainab alayhi salam on the plains and the land of Kufa, and how Zainab alayhi salam responded with composure, with eloquence, with class in the middle of arguably the most difficult week in her life. First and foremost, Sayyidah Zainab alayhi salam, who were her inspirations for her to be able to reach such a level? Naturally, she had been inspired by those who had come before her. But even before looking at them, let's look at the context of how she enters with the other ladies. How many ladies survived Karbala? The historians give different numbers. Some mention 7, some even mention 4, others mention 20. There are a certain number who we can name categorically. Number 1, Zainab alayhi salam. Number 2, her sister Kulthum alayhi salam. Number 3, Fatima al-Sughra, daughter of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. Imam Ali alayhi salam had a daughter called Fatima al-Sughra. Not Imam al-Husayn's daughter. Imam Ali's daughter, Fatima al-Sughra, was married to Abu Sa'id, the son of Aqil, son of Abu Talib. She survived Karbala. Rabab, the wife of Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam, survived Karbala. Imam al-Husayn had a couple of daughters who survived Karbala. One who's about 12, 14 years of age. Another who's about 3, 4 years of age. Then you had the wives of the companions of Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam. Some of them survived Karbala. When they left Karbala, normally in history, when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa would finish a battle, if there were ladies from the opposition, from the Jews of, for example, a battle like Khaybar, or from the mushriks of any other battle like Badr or Uhud, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa would say, make sure that those ladies are treated gently. Because these are captives. And a captive should be treated with akhlaq. And if you treat the prisoner with akhlaq, that prisoner may join the religion of Islam. Because the religion of Islam, the most important thing in it is what? Is akhlaq. There is nothing that comes in the mission of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa more than akhlaq. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa made a principle. Just because that's the wife of a person who was our enemy, don't whip them, don't hurt them, and even when they ride their camel, make sure there's a saddle for them to sit. That's fundamental. Why? When a person sits on a horse or on a saddle, on a camel, that saddle helps them in a number of ways. It may be a source of, in one way, strength. In another way, it may give them grip. In another way, it may also be a source of comfort. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to say, if they sit on the camel, then do not let them sit without a saddle. Make sure there's a saddle for them, those ladies. And if they are walking, make sure the rope on their hands is not tight. Make sure that they are able to walk in a way where there is comfort. Even some of the ladies who saw Rasulullah talk like this, converted to the religion of Islam because of it. Ladies of Karbala, what saddles were they placed on? No saddles whatsoever. When Zainab alayhi salam was helping the ladies get on the camel, Umar bin Sa'ad and Shimr bin Dil-Jawshan had ordered, do not place saddles on those camels. Let them sit on camels without saddles. No drape. All that there was maybe was a saddle cloth. Imagine the daughters of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam being placed on camels. And you see what some historians say. They say that if Zainab put everybody on the camels and she helped Imam Zain al-Abidin get on, who helped Zainab get on? Each one of them was placed on a camel, and on those camels, Karbala to Kufa. I ask all of you, if you went from Karbala to Kufa, isn't it a 1-hour car journey? How many of you have been for ziyarah? Karbala to Najaf is how far? 1 hour, 10 minutes? That's by car. By car. Karbala to Najaf by car, 1 hour. Imagine those camels moving from Karbala to Najaf and those ladies on them one by one. To the extent that one of them, one of the people who was in charge of the camels, he says, the first time I heard Zainab speak, I had never heard her speak. The first time I heard Zainab speak was when we were leaving Karbala. The moment we were leaving, Qurrat ibn Qais. Qurrat ibn Qais was the one of the last people to speak to Hur bin Yazid al-Riyahi before he changed sides. Qurra was the one who Hur said to him, did your horse have any water? And he said to him, no. He said, do you want me to go and get some? And then Qurra thought, what's going on here? Does he want to leave? Qurra bin Qais said, as we were leaving Karbala to go to Kufa, I saw Hussein's sister Zainab. She went to the body of her brother. And she sat there near the body and she called out, "Oh Muhammad, oh Muhammad. May the angels of the sky send their blessings upon you. This is Hussein in the wilderness. His limbs are severed. And these are your daughters who are held as captives. Your children are slain, and the wind blows over all of them." He said that was the first time that we heard Zainab. Suddenly they put them on the camels. They brought them into Kufa. One of the people in the Maqatil, you know what he says? He said they looked like Turkish and Roman captives. The granddaughters of the religion of Islam looked like Turkish and Roman captives. The moment those granddaughters entered, when they entered, some people came up to them. This is one of the biggest insults. When they were made to enter Kufa, there were people who came up to them and said, "Where are you rebels from? Where have you come from?" Suddenly a voice said, "We are the captives from Al Muhammad." Do you know what these people did? They picked up scarves and began to throw it at the ladies. They threw their scarves at the ladies one by one. The ladies all of a sudden were taken, they were paraded, and the people of Kufa were all staring. Staring why? Many of these people could not believe that these were the granddaughters of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. When they therefore saw them emerge, Sayyida Zainab alayha salam was the first to emerge from all of them. She noticed that the people of Kufa were all there. They were all standing there. They were all looking. Sayyida Zainab took that opportunity that let me get in quickly and speak to all of them. The moment she did this, of course, Zainab had been inspired by who? Of course, her mother did this with the issue of Fadak. Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salam, Sayyida Zainab was 5 years of age when her mother gave the famous khutbahs in relation to the land of Fadak. The difference between Fatima al-Zahra's khutbah and Bibi Zainab's khutbah, Fatima al-Zahra's khutbah was amongst the women, whereas Zainab was amongst strangers everywhere. But still, Zainab at this moment highlighted number one, hijab is not an impediment for me to speak out against injustice. I can speak out, I can be in my hijab, because sometimes some people think if I take off the hijab or I don't wear hijab, it's going to get me more opportunities in life. Learn from her. She's still remembered by thousands and millions today. Why remembered? Because she made sure that she highlighted a social and a physical hijab, maintained her composure and her discipline. Number two, Zainab highlighted that in Islam, Islam is not a voice just for the men, but a voice for female as well. Many times, people assume when you think of great Islamic lecturers or those who've given sermons, people straight away go where? They go straight to the men. Zainab alayhi salam said, no, hold on. The voice of the female is as important as the voice of the male. She emerges, all of the people of Kufa are there. All of a sudden, Zainab alayhi salam is about to give her lecture, her majlis, the first ladies' majlis in the history of Islam. After Karbala, Zainab in Kufa. Zainab alayhi salam in Kufa. She comes forward. Everybody is staring at Zainab alayhi salam. From the stranger to the ignoble. From the acquaintance to those who she didn't know. She came forward. She looked at everybody. Number one, like Imam Zain al-Abidin yesterday, all praise is due to Allah. Alhamdulillah. Psychologically, how do you say Alhamdulillah? You lost your son. You lost your brothers. You've lost half your family. No. Alhamdulillah. I submit to the plan of Allah. All praise is due to Allah. And blessings on my father. She doesn't say my grandfather, the Prophet. My father. She should say peace and blessings on my grandfather. No. Hassan, Hussein and Zainab in the eyes of Rasulullah were his children. Does not Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas say, I'm the son of Ali, he's the son of Muhammad? Hassan, Hussein and Zainab, because of different proofs, used to see themselves as the children of Rasulullah, and Rasulullah used to see them as his children. So she said, peace and blessings on my father, not my grandfather, my father, the messenger of Allah. Then she said, O people of Kufa, people of hypocrisy and desertion. Zainab, are you not scared? Scared of what? I'm only scared of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why should I be scared of these people? You people are a people of desertion and hypocrisy. You cry? They were all crying because they're like, my God, this is Ali's daughter? This is Fatima's. They're all crying. May your tears never dry. Never. And may your lamentation never subside. Your tears, they're not useful. My brother was beheaded in Karbala. My other one, his arms were gone in Karbala. My baby lost his neck in Karbala. What's your tears gonna do? May your tears never dry. May your lamentation never subside. Then she quotes the Quran. The beauty of Bibi Zainab in her majalis, Quran natural. She never completes a majlis unless she quotes Quran naturally in her ayahs. Because her mom's house was what? Her mom's house was only Quran. Bibi Fadda, last 20 years of her life, only spoke Quran. Bibi Fadda, many of you have heard my majlis. The last 20 years of her life, Bibi Fadda would not answer except with ayahs of Quran. Zainab, who is the teacher of Fidda, the first ayah she quotes in her khutbah to the people of Kufa was which one? First one she quotes, Surah 16, verse number 92. She quotes that ayah, and how does she quote that ayah? She says that your example is like that of she who unraveled what she had spun until it became strong, and then used her covenants to deceive one another. You people had spun. You spun, and then by the time you unraveled it, when it became strong, you showed that you were not doing anything sincere with your Islam. For you let down my brother when my brother needed all of you the most. She quoted that ayah of the Quran. Then she moved on from there. Indeed, are there any amongst you except that you are vain presenters? Number one, vain presenters. Number two, you are the people whose hearts are not inclined. Number three, you are strengthless in present. Number four, you are helpless when it came to facing the enemies. Ibn Ziyad finished all of you within a few days. He changed the lot of you. All of you had told Muslim bin Aqil that we're going to be alongside you and we're going to support you. Ibn Ziyad came with a few days, and the rest of you, all of you had suddenly forgotten. You broke your allegiance. You were heedless in your obligation. You will never see Amr bil Ma'ruf, Nahi anil Munkar in one sermon like Zainab alayhi salam. What evil have you put forth? What are you going to answer God? The wrath of God is going to be on all of you. And you will see that there will be internal chastisement for what you've done. You think that Bibi Zainab was going to tell these people of Kufa that MashaAllah, well done, or be soft with them? They have just resulted in killing the sign of Allah on earth. Because of them, Imam al-Hussein, you wrote letters to him. And you said that you'd be alongside him. And now all of you have forgotten what you had sent. You weep. Listen to what she says. You weep. You should weep a great deal and laugh a little, because all of you, one by one, has earned disgrace and dishonor. All of you. And the stain of what you've earned will never ever leave you. Look today, where are we? Toronto. Which month are we in? Have we forgotten the dishonor and the disgrace of Kufa? Promise from Zainab that the stain of your disgrace and your dishonor will never ever leave any of you. Why? You abandoned and you killed the children of the last prophet of Allah. You abandoned. You wrote letters to him. He was in Mecca, and you said, we are here. You said, we'll fight alongside you. Remember Imam al-Hussein in Karbala? What did he say when he came out in the battlefield? Hajjar bin Abjar, Qais ibn al-Ash'ath, where are you? Those who wrote letters to me, saying to me, come here, we'll be with you. And they said, no, we didn't. He said, by Allah, all of you wrote letters to me. And you signed those letters. Sayyidah Zainab was reminding them that you are the people who did what? You are the people who abandoned and killed the children of the last prophet of Allah, the chief of the youth of paradise. She doesn't just stop there. Sheikh Rabizi said, he is Sayyid Shabab Ahl Jannah. No, she didn't stop there. She continued to give us fada'il of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Imam al-Hussein, his best fada'il are described by Zainab alayhi salam. Children of the last prophet, tick. Chief of the youth of paradise, tick. But then what? The person who is what? He is the one who is a refuge for the righteous. Wallah. Is Imam al-Hussein not a refuge for you? Is there anything like a connection with Aba Abdullah? Refuge for the righteous. He is the sanctuary for your future. No future is complete without a relationship with him. Sanctuary for your future. He is the refuge for the righteous. What else is he? The signpost for salvation. If you hold on to him, you will have salvation on the day of judgment. Signpost for who? For salvation. And the path to success is Hussein bin Ali. The Aza of Hussein is the path of success. Then from there she moves on. What does she say? What a load you all carry. What a load. May you be wretched and may you decline. Your efforts were futile and your hands were empty. You could have been with him in Karbala, but you lost your opportunity. What an opportunity. Wallah. What an opportunity. How many of his companions on the 10th of Muharram, one of them was smiling. Someone said to him, all your life I've seen you, you never smile. Today I see you smile. He goes, life has been a struggle, but it's complete with Hussein bin Ali. Subhanallah. How many of his companions did you see took the opportunity? How many of them said to him, when he said to them, go home, he said, then what do I answer your mother on the day of judgment? How many of them said to him, when they were lying on the ground, how many, when he placed his cheek on their cheek, they're like, how lucky I am. The cheek of the son of Rasulullah is on my cheek when I pass away. She said, you missed an opportunity. Jannah was there. All you had to do was to be like Habib ibn Madar and Muslim bin Awsaja. Why do I mention these? It wasn't easy for them to leave Kufa, but they did. Wasn't easy, but they did. The roads were all blocked. But if you really want to achieve something, no one can stop you. No community, no family, no pressure. You want to get there, you can get there. You missed an opportunity. And now, where are you now? You're immersed in God's anger. You are immersed in God's anger. What will you see now? You're just going to see humiliation and you're going to see destitution. Then what does she say? Shame on you. Why? Do you know which part of Muhammad you have severed? You have severed a part of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Hussein is from me and I am from. You have severed a part of Muhammad. Do you know which part of Muhammad you've severed? This is the flower of Muhammad's life. This is his everything. Do you know which blood you have spilt? Whose blood you have spilt? Then she says, do you know which precious gem of Muhammad you've taken away? Precious gem. She's talking about her brother. Precious gem of Muhammad you've taken away. Then she quotes an ayah of the Quran. Which one? Surah 19, verse 18 to 19. What you have done is an atrocious thing. The heavens will be torn apart. The earth split asunder. The mountains will crumble into pieces. You all became criminals, trying to obscure the land and the skies. But then she turned around and said, are you surprised if the skies rain blood? You know that there are proofs that Ashura Day, the skies rain blood in certain parts of the world. Are you surprised that the skies rain blood? Then she quotes another ayah of the Quran. When she quotes this other ayah, Surah 41, verse 16, what is it? But the chastisement of the day of judgment is a greater disgrace. Yes. The chastisement, the real one on that day, is a greater disgrace. She then said, may Allah not give you ease in this period of respite. Because what are they doing in that period? They're chilling. There's no Jahannam. There's no one in their way. They're relaxed. May Allah not give you ease in your respite. Allah is not compelled to punish you now hastily. But nor does Allah miss the opportunity when it comes. Then she quotes another ayah of the Quran. Surah 89, verse number 14. For Allah lies in wait for you. When she said this, the people were crying non-stop. Zainab alayhi salam, in one sermon, had literally broken the media of Ibn Ziyad in Kufa. Literally, she had explained the position of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam in front of everybody in the land of Kufa. When she had done this, who gave the next lecture after her? Fatima al-Sughra, daughter of Imam Ali alayhi salam. She then gave a lecture. Listen to the ladies of Al Muhammad. People ask, why did Imam al-Hussein take his ladies to Karbala? The reason was they were the ones who would ensure Karbala remained alive. Look in Kufa. One khutbah, finished. Zainab, next. Fatima al-Sughra. Fatima al-Sughra, next. Kulthum, sister of Zainab, next. All of a sudden, Kufa is listening to majalis, not by men, but by the ladies of Al Muhammad. If any lady is going through a trial or tribulation in her life, I want you to hold on to three ladies: Zainab, Kulthum, Fatima al-Sughra, daughter of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Why? They lost their brother, they lost their cousins, they lost their nephews, their dresses were burnt, they were whipped, they were on saddles, on camels without saddles. They gave speeches with such eloquence, they summarized one phrase: mind over matter. My body is in pain, but my mind can reach such a level that I don't feel that pain. I can, in one moment, with all my body injured, in some cases whipped, in some cases bruised, in some cases slapped, but I can have a mind that can reach a level where I can quote ayahs of the Quran and I can maintain my discipline. That moment, Ibn Ziyad realized, I'm in trouble. Zayn al-Abidin, Zainab, Kulthum, Fatima al-Sughra. Lecture, 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 lecture. Ibn Ziyad said, bring them all in. All Ibn Ziyad knew at this moment in Kufa is that three ladies have given lectures. He doesn't know who's who. It's not like Bibi Zainab was someone who men had met. This was the first time Zainab appeared. Now all of a sudden, Ibn Ziyad says, bring them all in. When they bring them all in, you have some of the most famous interactions that take place. And if you want to see Sayyida Zainab's class personified, look at her interaction with Ibn Ziyad. It's easy to lose your cool at this moment. Why? There's a man who's poking your brother's teeth. We'd lose our cool completely. But this is Rasulullah's granddaughter here. Can you imagine, to add insult to injury, he's placed heads on spears next to him. She's there, he's here. Imam Zain al-Abidin. And remember what I said, they chained them all together. So they made them sit on the ground. One is chained to the other. Ibn Ziyad was sitting and he's looking at all of them. He had never seen Rasulullah's granddaughters in his life. Who would have seen Zainab's face? Who's even heard her voice? All of a sudden, he can see all of them. He's like, these are all of them? They said to him, yes. He said, who's that one sitting? What's your name? No reply. He said, I said, what's your name? No reply. Tell me your name now. One of the ladies said, that is Zainab, daughter of Ali. He said, you're Zainab. How do you find how God disgraced you and killed you and exposed your falsehood? At this moment, what do you say to this man? What do you say? Ayatollah Sibawayh. I want to just... Ayatollah Sibawayh. Mujtahid. They said to him, recite Masa'ib for us. He said, I'm not a zakir or an orator. I don't have the voice for Masa'ib. They said, no, please, you are a grand scholar. Recite Masa'ib for us. Just. He's like, you want me to recite Masa'ib? Said, yes, yes. He said, okay, I'll recite Masa'ib, no problem. Zainab entered the court of Ibn Ziyad. That's it, he stopped. He said, I don't need to elaborate anymore. Just think about it, all of you, for a few seconds. What had happened to Islam? Zainab is in the court of Ibn Ziyad. Sitting there. He said to her, Zainab, how do you find how God disgraced you and killed you and exposed your falsehood and your lies? She said, no. Rather, God has honored us through Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. And purified us a thorough purification. Yes. When he heard this, he became a bit jolted because I was trying to get her to be angry. She's literally ripped me. I said to her, how did you find how God disgraced you and killed you and exposed your falsehood? And she just looked at him and said, God has honored us through Muhammad. And we are those who are purified, a thorough purification. When she said that, he then looked towards her. And he said, and how did you find the way God killed your family in Karbala? How did you find that? Her reply is one of the most beautiful replies I have ever seen. She said, death was ordained for them, and they hastened towards martyrdom. And there'll be a day they, you, and me will all have to answer for what happened there. So relax. You, if I tell you, what do you think of what happened to your family? You would reply abruptly, no. Death is ordained for all. But they hastened to martyrdom. Death is ordained for all. But they hastened to their martyrdom. And know one thing psychologically, which is going to damage you tonight when you go to sleep. You're going to have to answer. And they're going to have to answer. And I'm going to have to answer. I can't wait. I look forward to that day. You're only scared of an exam when you haven't revised. If you've revised, then you're ready for your exam. At that moment, he got his whip about to hit her. Amr ibn Hurayth was next to him. He jumped. He said, it's just a woman. Leave her. They get emotional. Don't lower yourself to that standard. He then looked at her. He said to her, you know what's interesting about you? You are a brave poet like your dad. A brave poet and nothing more. She looked at him and she said, what have I got to do with poetry? That's for people like you. What I have said to you comes from the purity of my heart. Ibn Ziyad, embarrassed in front of everybody, could not answer her. 1 minute he's saying, how do you find what God's done? God has honored us with Rasulullah. God's kind. We've been purified. How do you find the way we killed you? Death's ordained for everyone. We went for Shahada. We're happy. We're fine. We're comfortable. You're a poet like your dad. No, that's you. I speak from the heart, not just reciting the poetry. When she said that, Ibn Ziyad could not do anything further. Ibn Ziyad looked down at her. One person in the court of Ibn Ziyad could not take this anymore. Who? Abdullah bin Afif al-Azdi. Abdullah bin Afif al-Azdi, loyal to Amir al-Mu'mineen. Never in his life he imagined Zainab would be chained. Never in his life he imagined Zainab would have been hit. Never in his life he imagined a covering of Zainab could have been ripped. But there's a problem. What's the problem? He can't see. But he lives in Kufa. Where did he used to hang around? The mosque of Kufa. Where's Ibn Ziyad? Mosque of Kufa. Abdullah bin Afif al-Azdi lost one eye at Jamal defending Ali ibn Abi Talib. Lost another eye at Siffin defending Ali ibn Abi Talib. Cannot see. Said, I hear a voice. Whose voice? He can't see. All he knows is that there's a voice that is similar to her dad. Allahu Akbar. The blind, they have this gift from Allah that sometimes they can sense even better than those who see. Who is that? Who's chained in this way? Who's alone on this ground? Who is that? They said to him, Zainab, daughter of Ali. Couldn't see. He had lost a right eye and a left eye, Jamal and Siffin. Ibn Ziyad was giving the khutbah for Jum'ah according to some narrations. Others were saying it was a general khutbah, difference of opinion. Ibn Ziyad began by saying, glorious is the Lord who gave victory to Amir al-Mu'mineen Yazid against the liar and son of a liar Hussein bin Ali. Abdullah bin Afif is adding everything together. Zainab is in chains. Zainab is in the court. And this man has just said that. He said, rather you and your father and the man who appointed you and his father are the liar's son of liars. Why? Because Zainab's voice woke up everybody. Imagine Zainab's voice. A blind man woke up again. Said, rather your father, Ziyad, and you, and the one who appointed you, and his father, they are the liars and sons of liars. Ibn Ziyad went straight away, go out and attack him. They went to attack Abdullah bin Afif. The Azdi tribe, 700 of them, they came and took Abdullah away. Ibn Ziyad could not take it. He knew that Kufa was changing because of what was said. Ibn Ziyad sent people for this Abdullah bin Afif. Do you know what Abdullah did? Blind. Picked up a sword. They're attacking him. He fighting without seeing. Because Ibn Ziyad knew, I cannot let this guy get away with this. They are standing up for Zainab and they're making a mockery of what I've done. So the soldiers of Ibn Ziyad went to fight a blind man. Allahu Akbar. But a blind man with the wilayat of Ali is a different man. He was able to fight them until they eventually killed him. Suddenly Kufa, all of a sudden people were like, this is Zainab, that's Zain al-Abidin, this is Kulthum, Fatima Sughra. A lot of people of Kufa, slowly tension was rising. They had to get all of the family out quickly. Get out! Send them away! And that's why in this period in Muharram, they sent them towards Sham. There's a difference with Kufa and Sham. What's the difference? Kufa still had people who had some respect for Imam Ali. So those people will not poke you with a spear. If you were paraded in the street in Kufa, no one's going to hit you. No one's going to throw stones at you. No one's going to kick you. No one's going to pour boiling water on you. If you thought Kufa was difficult, come to Sham. Allahu Akbar. Zainab for the psychologist is a miracle. For the media is a miracle. For the political is a miracle. But how she remained strong in Sham is a different story altogether. Because Imam himself says that in Sham, I saw things that happened to us that did not happen in Kufa. Kufa, they put us, yes, in a prison area. But people could have access to us. And people can come and give us some foods and some different things. In Sham, there is a whole nation who hated our grandfather. Imam Zain al-Abidin, Bibi narrates what happened to him. He narrates what happened to her. Allahu Akbar. Bibi says, I saw a man pour boiling water on Imam Zain al-Abidin's head. Allahu Akbar. This is in the Maqatil. When they were taken through Sham, a man poured boiling water, boiling hot water on Imam Zain al-Abidin. My dear brothers and sisters, if hot water burns your hand, you move it straight away. Boiling water on the head of Imam Zain al-Abidin. Okay. Imam, boiling water on your head. You tell me about Bibi. He said, when we entered Sham, a call was made. Not in Kufa. Kufa would not say such things. But in Sham, a call was made. These are the children of the man who defeated you at Khandaq and Khaybar. That's it. That's all you have to say. That's it. He said, I saw a man with his spear poke the waist of my auntie Zainab. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Poke the waist. Not with a knife, not with a dagger. A spear in the waist of my auntie. Chain from Kufa, Sham, chained across all the way. And there are different people staring at them. But the stare, this one was not Kufa. Kufa, guilt. This one, hate. This one is pure hate. And they're taken to where? The palace of Yazid. Yazid wants to come out. He wants to parade. He wants to show his power. What he's done. Imagine, my dear brothers and sisters, Bibi Zainab sitting on the ground, once in Kufa, another time in Sham. What a musibah. Wallah, Zainab in Ibn Ziyad's court one day. And another day, Zainab in Sham. in Yazid's court. Yazid, at that time, he was married to a lady by the name of Hind. This lady he was married to, when she was younger, she served in the house of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Man, she had served when she was very young. And then she served in the house of Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam. But where was all of this? She was much younger, and this was in the Medina land and so on. After Imam al-Hasan was poisoned, Muawiyah forced her to marry Yazid. She was in her room. When she was in her room, her servant came to her, said to her, "Get changed." She said, "Why?" She said, "A group of rebels have been captured." Allahu Akbar. A group of rebels have been captured. A group of rebels. Where were they captured from? The servant said, "A place called Karbala." So she said to her, "Get ready, get changed," and so on and so forth. She got changed, she came, and she sat on her throne. Sayyidah Zainab alayhi salam on the ground, this one on the throne. Sayyidah Zainab turned around to Kulthum. She said to her, "Do you recognize her?" Kulthum said, "Who is it? I don't recognize her." She said, "That's Hind, who used to serve us when she was younger." Hind looked at them talking, they're whispering. Hind said, "May I ask you all a question? Where are you from? Where are you all from?" Sayyidah Zainab looked at her, she said, "We are from Medina." What did Hind do? Hind came down from Mimbar, she sat from palace, sat on the... I want you to think of one thing. How much had Karbala affected Bibi's face that she couldn't even recognize her? She sat down, she's in front of her. Sayyidah Zainab looked at her, she said, "Why did you come down? Why have you come down and sat on the floor?" She said, "Out of respect for the people of Medina. When I was younger, I served a house in Medina." Allah, Allah. All of you know where I'm heading now, but this is for you. When I was younger, I served a house in Medina. When I was younger, I served a house in Medina. May I ask you some questions about the members of that house? She said to her, "Yes, go ahead." She says, "I served the house of Ali ibn Abi Talib when I was younger." Allahu Akbar. What does Zainab think at this moment? "May I ask you about some of the members of that house?" She said, "Yes, go ahead. Ask me about any of them." "May I ask you about Abbas bin Ali?" Allahu Akbar. Allah, the soft spot of Abul Fadl. "May I ask you about Abul Fadl? Tell me, where is Abbas, the son of Ali?" Sayyidah Zainab alayha salam looked at her and said, "You ask me about Abbas? Look at that head on that spear. Allah. That's the head of Abbas in front of you." Allahu Akbar. She looked at her and she said, "May I ask you about another of the members?" She said, "Go ahead, tell me." She said, "Tell me about Abu Abdullah." "Tell me about Abu Abdullah. I beg you, tell me." Allahu Akbar. She said to her, "Do you see that house, that head on that spear?" She said, "Yes." She said, "That's Abu Abdullah on that spear." Allahu Akbar. He knew one thing. What was it? Wherever Abbas and Hussein were, Zainab must be. Abbas and Hussein would never leave Zainab. She said to her, as the poets say, tell me, where is Zainab al-Hashimiyya? Allahu Akbar. She replied, if you ask me about Zainab al-Hashimiyya, I don't know where she is. Truly, she doesn't know. Where am I? But if you ask me about Zainab al-Masbiyya, Allah, if you ask me about Zainab the prisoner, then here I am in front of you. When Hind knew that this was Zainab, she ran out of the court of Yazid. Her hijab fell. Yazid, as he entered, saw the hijab fell. He said, put on your hijab, how dare you? She said to him, you asked me about my hijab. Allahu Akbar. You asked me about my hijab. How about the hijab of the daughters of Rasulullah? How about the hijab of the daughters of Fatima al-Zahra? مأتم الحسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين
Ya Hussein, 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 Ya Hussein,
Please, if you can start lining up. Please, if you can start lining up.
Ya Hussein, 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 bachcha. Ya Hussein, 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 Ya Hussein. जिसको जगह नहीं मिली वो सीनों पे हाथ रखे. या हुसैन, 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 या हुसैन. मातमियों से गुजारिश है हल्का बना लें. बिलखुसूस अंजुमन खाकसार आने आजा. या हुसैन, या हुसैन, या हुसैन, या हुसैन, या हुसैन. अंजुमन खाकसार आने आजा से गुजारिश है कि वो मिंबर पे आ जाए. या हुसैन, या हुसैन, या हुसैन, या हुसैन, या हुसैन, Ya Hussein, 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 Ya
Ya Hussein, 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 Hayya ala khairil amal, Hayya ala khairil amal, Hayya ala Hussein, 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 amal, Hayya ala khairil amal, Hayya ala هيا على العذاب هيا على البكاء هيا على خير العمل هيا على يوم أدمي حسين 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 آخری آدمی تک ماتم کرے حسین حسین نام مالا هيا على خير العمل 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 يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین جو ماتمی ہلکا بنا لے حسین یا حسین 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 یا 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 عمل حیا علی خیر العمل 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 یا حسین 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 جیو یا حسین 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 سوگ میں ڈوبی ساری فضا یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین سوگ میں ڈوبی ساری فضا یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین گھر گھر میں ماتم ہے بپا یا حسین 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 سوگ میں ڈوبی ساری فضا گھر گھر میں ماتم ہے بپا آیا نظر جب ماہ ازا رو رو کے ازاداروں نے کہا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلی میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلی میں چلا جا اے چاند حسین میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلی میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے
بدلی میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلی میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلی میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلی میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے مائک والوں سے گزارش ہے آواز نہیں آ رہی بالکل بھی مجھے اے چاند محرم کے صحیح میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلی میں چلا جا ہاں تجھے دیکھ کے مر جائے نا تجھے دیکھ کے مر جائے بیمار ہے سغرا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلی میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلی میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلی میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلی میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے بدلی میں چلا جا ہاں تجھے دیکھ کے مر جائے نا تجھے دیکھ کے مر جائے بیمار ہے سغرا محرم کے اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلی چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلی میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلی میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلی میں چلا جا ہاں گھر زہارا کا لٹنے کی خبر تو نے سنائی تجھے دیکھ کے روتی ہے محرم میں خدائی 1400 برس بیتے 1400 برس بیتے سب کرتے ہیں شکوا چاند محرم کے بدلی میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے بدلی میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے بدلی میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے بدلی میں چلا جا ہاں گھر زہارا کا لٹنے کی خبر تو نے سنائی تجھے دیکھ کے روتی ہے محرم میں خدائی 1400 برس بیتے 1400 برس بیتے ہاں سب کرتے ہیں شکوا حسین حسین کے تو بدلی میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلی میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلی میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلی میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلی میں چلا جا ہم ملنے کے لیے بھائی کو بے چین بڑی ہے ملنے کے لیے بھائی کو بے چین بڑی ہے کب سے علی اکبر کی یہ راہوں میں کھڑی ہے بچھڑی ہے یہ مدت سے بچھڑی ہے یہ مدت سے
اسے تو نہ نظر آئے چاند محرم کے بدلے میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے بدلے میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے بدلے میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلے میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلے میں چلا جا وعدہ جو کیا بہن کو سینے سے لگا کر وعدہ جو کیا بہن کو سینے سے لگا کر میں شادی کروں گا تو تیرے پاس بھی آ کر میں ساتھ محرم کو میں ساتھ محرم کو لوٹوں گا نہ گھبرا چاند محرم کے بدلے میں چلا جا چاند محرم کے تو بدلے میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلے میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلے میں چلا جا اے چاند محرم کے تو بدلے میں چلا جا ہاں بھیا کی جدائی میں پریشان ہے رہتی بھیا کی جدائی میں پریشان ہے رہتی ہر روز یہ نانا کو رو رو کے ہے کہتی اکبر نہ ملا نانا اکبر نہ ملا نانا میں مر جاؤں گی تنہا چاند محرم کے تو بدلے میں چلا جا 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 چاند محرم کے بدلے میں چلا جا کیا ڈھونڈ رہی ہے جنگل میں سکینہ 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 رہی ہے جنگل میں سکینہ کیا ڈھونڈ رہی ہے میں سکینہ میں انتہائی معذرت خواہ ہوں وہ لوگ کہ جو اسٹیج پہ آنا چاہتے ہیں انہوں نے بولا ہے اس اسٹیج میں اتنی قوت نہیں کہ اتنے لوگ آ جائیں رہی ہے کیا ڈھونڈ رہی ہے سب مل کے کیا ڈھونڈ رہی ہے جنگل میں سکینہ عباس کے بازو یا بابا کا سینہ کیا ڈھونڈ رہی ہے حسین کیا ڈھونڈ رہی ہاں کانوں سے چھنے گوہر اور آگ تھی دامن میں کانوں سے چھنے گوہر اور آگ تھی دامن میں گھبرائی ہوئی بچی یہ کہتی رہی رل میں ہے کوئی جو مجھ کو پہنچا دے مدینہ رہی ہے جنگل میں سکینہ کیا ڈھونڈ رہی ہے جنگل میں سکینہ کیا ڈھونڈ رہی ہے جنگل میں سکینہ کیا ڈھونڈ رہی ہے جنگل میں سکینہ کہتی تھی کہ اصغر کو لے آؤ میرے بابا کہتی تھی کہ اصغر کو لے آؤ میرے بابا سونا نظر آتا ہے بھائی کا میرے جھولا اصغر کے بغیر اب مجھ کو نہیں جینا رہی ہے جنگل میں سکینہ کیا ڈھونڈ رہی ہے جنگل میں سکینہ کیا ڈھونڈ رہی ہے جنگل میں سکینہ زد پر ہے مظالم کی یہ بھول سی معصومہ زد پر ہے مظالم کی یہ بھول سی معصومہ مقتل سے کہاں جائے شبیر کی مظلومہ وہ دلوں کا کھانا وہ اشکوں کا پینا ڈھونڈ رہی ہے سکینہ کیا ڈھونڈ رہی ہے جنگل میں سکینہ کیا ڈھونڈ رہی ہے جنگل میں سکینہ ڈھونڈ رہی ہے جنگل میں سکینہ مشکل میں گھری آئے اولاد نبی کیسی اولاد نبی کیسی اس دشت مصیبت میں ہے تشنا لبی کیسی آیا نہیں اب تک سقائے سکینہ جنگل میں سکینہ کیا ڈھونڈ رہی ہے جنگل میں سکینہ ڈھونڈ رہی ہے جنگل میں سکینہ کیا 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 ڈھونڈ رہی ہے جنگل میں سکینہ زہرا جایا داسرا غازی زہرا جایا داسرا غازی ہے 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 زہرا جایا حسین ہے زہرا جایا داسرا غازی ہے زہرا جایا ہے ہے زہرا جائیا داسرا غازی ہے زہرا جائیا داسرا غازی زہرا جائیا داسرا غازی ہے داسرا غازی ہے داسرا غازی ہے غازی ہے زہرا جایا آج بھی بہتے حسین رو دیے آج بھی بہتے رو دیے آج بھی بہتے حسین رو دیے آج بھی بہتے حسین رو دیے حق میرے قید تو چھڑا غازی زہرا جائے حسین 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 ہے زہرا جائیا یوم تمیم غازی ہے غازی ہے غازی ہے آج بھی بہتے حسین رو دیے آج بھی بہتے حسین رو دیے حق میرے قید تو چھڑا غازی زہرا حسین 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 ہے زہرا ہے زہرا غازی ہے غازی زہرا ایک جملہ مصائب کا سن کے پھر ماتم شروع کریں گے غازی شمر رج رج حسین کو مارے شمر رج رج حسین کو مارے شمر رج رج سکینہ کو مارے جاندہ نہیں غازی شمر رج رج حسین کو مارے رج رج حسین کو مارے شمر رج رج حسین کو مارے رج رج حسین کو مارے جاندہ نہیں غازی زہرا غازی ہے زہرا جایا زہرا جایا ہے زہرا زہرا جایا زہرا جایا ہے زہرا جایا غازی ہے زہرا جایا ہے زہرا جایا غازی ہے زہرا اب تک ہے زبانوں پہ علمدار مارا گیا سرور کا مددگار علمدار اب تک ہے زبانوں پہ علمدار علمدار عباس علمدار عباس علمدار عباس علمدار اب تک ہے زبانوں پہ علمدار علمدار مارا گیا سرور کا مددگار علمدار مختصر وقت کی وجہ سے آج میں تھوڑا جلدی ختم کر دوں گا. کل انشاءاللہ پھر پڑھوں گا, اور بہت ساری ایسی فرمائشیں جو کہ میں پوری نہیں کر پایا آج دیر ہونے کی وجہ سے. اب جو ہے میں ان لوگوں سے معذرت خواہ ہوں کہ جنہوں نے مجھے اتنے میسیجز بھیجے. بہرحال ان میں سے 1 سے 2 گزارشیں آخر میں پوری کر رہا ہوں. ایک جملہ میری پسند کا سن لیں. خیموں میں نہیں آ سکا عباس کا لاشا, عباس کا لاشا. مولا سجاد کو ہدیہ کر رہا ہوں. پوچھا کیوں لہت چھوٹی ہے زینب نے جو روکے, سجاد یہ بولے ارے اماں مجھے میدان سے اتنا ہی ملا تھا عباس کا لاشا, عباس کا لاشا. جب میرے گھر میں علم ہے تو علمدار بھی ہو, جب میرے گھر میں علم ہے تو علمدار بھی ہو. ایک جری چاہیے تاریخ شجاعت کے لیے, کربلا میں میرے شبیر کی نصرت کے لیے, اور ناموس پیغمبر کی حفاظت کے لیے. یا الہی مجھے عباس سا بیٹا دے دے, جب میرے گھر میں علم ہے تو علمدار بھی ہو, جب میرے گھر میں علم ہے تو علمدار بھی ہو. شکر صد شکر تیرا شبر و شبیر دیے, بیٹیاں کی ہیں عطا زینب کلثوم مجھے, بادش کے میری بس ایک دعا کے بدلے. یا الہی مجھے عباس سا بیٹا دے دے, میں علم ہے تو علمدار بھی ہو, گھر میں علم ہے تو علمدار بھی ہو, جب میرے گھر میں علم ہے تو علمدار بھی ہو. زندگی جس کی گزر جائے علمداری میں, اپنے بازو بھی کٹا دے جو فداکاری میں, سب سے آگے نظر آئے جو وفاداری میں. یا الہی مجھے عباس سا بیٹا دے دے, میں علم ہے تو علمدار بھی ہو, میں علم ہے تو علمدار بھی ہو. نام اس کا ہو جن ہونٹوں پہ وہاں پیاس نہ ہو, کوئی امید نہ ٹوٹے کوئی بے آس نہ ہو, یاد کر کے اسی تنہائی کا احساس نہ ہو. یا الہی مجھے عباس سا بیٹا دے دے, تو علمدار بھی ہو, جب میرے گھر میں علم ہے تو علمدار بھی ہو. میرے مالک میرے ہونٹوں پہ جب آئی یہ دعا, میری آنکھوں میں نظر آنے لگی کرب و بھلا. میرا شبیر مصیبت میں کھڑا ہے تنہا, یا الہی مجھے عباس سا بیٹا دے دے, بھی ہو, جب میرے گھر میں علم ہے تو علمدار بھی ہو, جب میرے گھر میں علم ہے تو علمدار جب کربل میں ہو تو علمدار بھی ہو، جب کربل میں ہو جب کربل میں ہو 24 پہر کا پیاسا، ہر قدم پر اسے ایثار کا جذبہ دینا، اور میرے لال کے ہاتھوں کو سلامت رکھنا، یا الہی مجھے عباس سا بیٹا دے دے، جب میرے گھر میں علم ہے تو علمدار بھی ہو، جب میرے گھر میں علم ہے تو علمدار بھی ہو، جب میرے گھر میں علم ہے تو علمدار بھی ہو، جب میرے گھر میں علم ہے تو علمدار بھی ہو، جب میرے گھر میں علم ہے تو علمدار بھی ہو، جب میرے گھر میں علم ہے تو علمدار بھی ہو، جب میرے علم ہے تو علمدار بھی ہو، جب میرے گھر میں علم ہے تو علمدار بھی ہو، جب میرے گھر میں علم ہے تو علمدار بھی ہو، جب میرے گھر میں علم ہے تو علمدار بھی ہو، گھر میں علم ہے تو علمدار بھی ہو۔ وقت زیادہ ہو گیا ہے لیکن ایک روایت ہے، اگر آپ اجازت دیں تو میں آپ کے ساتھ اس کے 2 سے 3 شعر پیش کرنا چاہوں گا آخر میں۔ اچھا، یہ ان لوگوں کے لیے کہ جو شاید کربلا نہ جا پائیں اور جو جا چکے ہیں اربعین پہ، ہمارے مجلس میں سب سے پہلے حدیث قصہ سے ہم شروع کرتے ہیں مجلس کو۔ حدیث قصہ کے جو راوی ہیں وہ جابر بن عبداللہ انصاری۔ خاموشی چاہتا ہوں پیچھے۔ حضرت جابر بن عبداللہ انصاری مولا اور رسول اللہ کے آخری اصحابوں میں سے جو کربلا تک پہنچے ان میں سے ہیں موجود۔ جب وہ زیادہ ان کی عمر ہو گئی تو بینائی جو ہے ان کی چلی گئی، تو مولا سجاد خطاب کرتے ہیں جب وہ اربعین پہنچتے ہیں، جو اصل واقع اربعین ہے، مولا سجاد علیہ السلام پہنچتے ہیں اور کہتے ہیں جابر سے، یہ ایک پوری روایت ہے، مجھے حکم دیا گیا تھا، بس یہ میں اس کو حکم کو پورا ادا کر رہا ہوں۔ 2 شعر یہ گھر جا کے آپ سنیے گا، بہرحال پوری روایت 2 جملے مجھ سے آج سن لیں یہاں۔ مولا کہتے ہیں کہ جابر تم تو نابینا ہو، لیکن یہ اچھا ہی ہوا کہ تم نابینا ہو، کیونکہ جن آنکھوں سے میں نے کربلا دیکھی ہے اس کے بعد اب میں ذکر پیش کروں گا۔ اچھا ہے تیری بینائی نہیں، تو دیکھ نہیں پاتا جابر، تھی بنت علی بازاروں میں بے متن و بے پردہ جابر، تو دیکھ نہیں پاتا جابر، جابر زمین کرب و بلا، زہرا کا یہاں گلشن بکھرا، اور جس جا پہ کھڑے ہو تم جابر، گھوڑے سے یہی عباس گرا، اور پیاسی تھی بھتیجی خیمے میں، اور بے باز ہوا سکا جابر، تو دیکھ نہیں پاتا جابر۔ میری حجت تمام ہوئی، آخری دعا۔ سقائے سکینہ عباس سقائے سکینہ دو مجھ کو سہارا، ٹھہری ہوئی نظریں ہیں میری تیرے علم پر، شک مجھ کو نہیں کوئی تیرے لطف و کرم پر، تو باب ہوائی فارج ہے، نظر رکھتا ہے ہم پر، مشکل سے بچانا سکائے سکینہ بن ہاتھوں کی تم جھولیاں بھر دیتے ہو مولا، احسان کرو مجھ پہ، میں بندہ ہوں تمہارا، مفلس ہوں بہت کربوں بھلا نہیں سکتا، کیا تم سے چھپانا ابا سکائے سکینہ. آخری شعر. دنیا کی مصیبت نے مجھے گھیر لیا ہے، آقا تیرا خادم یہ پریشان ہوا ہے، تم مجھے کو بچا لو گے مجھے یہ بھی پتا ہے، بس دیر نہ کرنا سکائے سکینہ. درود بر محمد و آل محمد صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم.
توجہ زیارت. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا فاطمة سيدة النساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك، عليك مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم جميعا. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن حسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. السلام عليك يا علي بن الحسين زين العابدين، ومحمد بن علي باقر العلم النبيين، وجعفر بن محمد الصادق، وموسى بن جعفر الكاظم، وعلي بن موسى الرضا، ومحمد بن علي الجواد، وعلي بن محمد الحادي، والحسن بن علي الأسكري، ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا صاحب الزمان، الأمان 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 من فتنة الزمان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن وكعبة الإيمان، وإمامنا وإمام الإنس والجان، عجل الله فرجك وسحر الله تعالى مخرجك، وظهورك ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا